Looks like that memory's still intact.
The Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay is remembered fondly for many reasons, not the least of which is how brilliantly it realized the savage promise of first-person, hand-to-hand combat. Arguably, there's yet to be a game that does it better. Its greatest achievement, though, is the sense of immediacy with which it propels you through its experience. Recalling games like Half-Life 2 and Metroid, the events of Butcher Bay's riotous story unfold all around you, seldom resorting to cutscenes when a scripted event will serve. Nowhere is this more evident than in the first portion of the game. Riddick's homicidal sojourn through Butcher Bay plays out like a fantasy of retribution and revenge, and the game's intro literally takes the form of one. We're hard-pressed to come up with a cooler, more gratifying in-game tutorial. Complete with a fake introductory cutscene, the dream sequence that kicks off the story has Riddick stalking and brutalizing his jailers while teaching you the basic skills you'll need to survive lockdown. The game plays the dream angle with discretion, and subtly of course, so your first time through you're quite shocked and deflated when you finally wake up restrained in the hold of a ship, sitting in front of Johns, your sneering captor.
You might want to be careful with that, Johns.
After witnessing some heated haggling over the value of such a high-profile prisoner, you get your first taste of prison life, and it isn't pretty. You're sold on the remoteness and impregnability of Butcher Bay Prison after your first few steps on its premises. Nothing says escape-proof like endless leagues of barren desert. Riddick isn't the type to succumb to the dehumanizing aspects of life in the clink, though, much to the annoyance of Headscrew Abbott, voiced by and modeled after none other than X to the Z Exhibit himself.
This is your home.
Nor is Riddick content to plug himself into the prison hierarchy like a good little fish. As soon as your fellow inmates catch wind of your imprisonment, the stew begins to boil. Butcher Bay is a grim and ugly place where life is cheap and the meek are made to serve the vicious, or worse. The setting is rendered masterfully, and every element in the world, from the hard men serving time to its very filth-caked walls, evokes cruelty and hopelessness. At the same time, you feel empowered playing as Riddick. You get the impression he's very much in his element in this messed up place. It's not long before you're upsetting the carefully maintained balance. Your mission to take out the gang leader inhabiting the neighboring cell block allows you to brush up on your handling of shivs and knuckle dusters. It also ends up leading you toward an avenue of escape, the infirmary, from which you can access the mainframe and hack your way into firearms access. Given the nature of Butcher Bay's inmate population, it stands to reason that its arsenal would be DNA locked.
Now things get interesting.
In case you've forgotten, Escape from Butcher Bay is a hard game, and you can expect heavy resistance as you prowl your way through its steaming innards. The rough scenarios it throws your way have you making constant tactical decisions. Should you shine your gun's light to take a shot at the guard you hear down the darkened hall, or stick to stealth and wait for a short kill? It's a theme that carries on throughout the whole game for sure, but since you don't have Riddick's eyeshine power in the prison section, the situation feels a good deal tenser.
Hey, prisoner! Go!
Before reaching the pit, you'll have incited a prison riot and severely culled Butcher Bay's prison guard population by using all the vicious tools at your disposal. You'll also have whetted your appetite for one of the most brutally well-realized settings ever conceived in a game. The Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay was a game ahead of its time, and this much is evident even in its earliest portions.
It ain't the fall that gets you. It's a sudden stop at the bottom.